Hello, and thanks for tuning in for another video on home learning. The intent of this video is to talk about high frequency words. Basically, just to get us started, high frequency words is a term that was started by reading researchers, really studying how do students learn to read and what makes students successful with reading. And basically, high frequency words are words that appear most often in reading and writing. Some researchers, specifically Dolch and Fry, have studied these words, and they say that, about 300 words represent 50 to 70% of all of the words that was seen in reading and writing. And with the idea of learning those 300 words, then students have a kind of leg up as they're reading because half of the words they already know, so they only have to figure out the other half. When we talk about high frequency words, we really talk about memorizing these words so that as soon as a student sees them, they don't have to think about it. They just know it automatically. Now, you've probably heard teachers and different people talk about sight words, high frequency words. There's a very subtle difference and it really doesn't mean much, but just so you know, the terms can't totally be used interchangeably. High frequency word are those words that are found often in text. A high frequency word becomes a sight word when a student knows it by sight. So in essence, our goal is to take this list of high frequency words, help the kids really understand them and know them so that they have a whole bunch of sight words that are in their back pocket ready to read. Specifically, there are several high frequency word lists that you can find. You can find several online. I'll include several links on my webpage. Specifically, Fry and Dolch are the probably most famous researchers, and they each have lists. Those lists are organized kind of by the first 100 words, the second 100 most frequent words, and the third 100 most frequent words. We recommend kindergarten really is the age to learn that first 100. A kindergartner who knows that first 100 list is totally ready to go to first grade and succeed. First grade, they learn that second 100. And once you get all of that second 100, by a second grade, learning that third 100, a student's really ready to kind of take it on reading and read with much greater fluency. There are lots of activities, and researchers have suggested several ways to help students learn these sight words. You can hang the words around the house. People create flashcards. I'm going to teach you kind of a little strategy that I think works the best. It's based on what I've done in reading groups myself. Some kind of things to keep in mind so that it's going to go well at home. First is it's not about reading 100 words in one sitting. Instead, choose about 3 at a sitting and learn those 3, and then we'll build 3 more tomorrow, 3 more, and so we can kind of keep building from there. If not, the students kind of really aren't learning the words. They're just memorizing how they're said out loud, and then a parent will show them later and say, hey, you knew this word yesterday. Why don't you know it? Well, they just remembered a couple words orally. They didn't actually learn this word is really it's not in our sight word vocabulary yet. Regular review is needed. That's the learn 3 today, learn 3 new tomorrow, review them again, and then add 3 more and go back and review each one. We want to use oral, visual, and written processes as we're doing this. So we want them to hear the word, we want them to see it, and we want them to write it. And that way, all 3 of those processes are going to really help build their memory. And we want to keep it engaging. It doesn't always have to follow this procedure. I do these 3 words and then, hang some words around the house. I heard, hang a couple in the bathroom, hang a couple in the bedroom, hang, the word that they're stuck on, hang it on the refrigerator. They have to say it before they open the refrigerator. My son, I remember we put some words and hung them on the ceiling, and I gave him a flashlight, and he was able to kind of find those words. Keep it engaging, keep it fun, and that way you'll really actually engage the brain. So here's the process we're going to kind of go through. So if we happen to have the word what, we're going to start with see it and say it. See it and say it. So you're going to display the word. The word is what. And we're going to start and we're going to track it. So we track from left to right, What? You're going to say it several times. What? What? Have your student with their finger, take their finger and track it as well. What? I have a little word card here. I'm going to make sure, track it. What? 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 We want to match that beginning and ending sound. From here, we're going to kind of go on and we're just going to kind of take some time analyzing the word a little bit. I want you to stop and really think. If I look at this word, at, doesn't actually match the sounds that I usually think of. Instead, it's actually spelled more like a ut. That's kind of hard for me to remember. I'm going to need to remember in this word, it's a little bit of a rule breaker. Does it remind you of another word? I see had in there, but that's not going to help me. It's really what, kind of like but. What? Interesting. So after I spent some time really analyzing the word, I might say it a couple more times. What? What? Say it in a whispery way. What? Say it in a sliding board way. What? Say it in a letter way. W-H-A-T. Say it in a sound way. What? What? So now I'm going to kind of really go on to some visual memory, and I really want to spend some time I'm going to shrink myself down here so we can talk about some of the ideas. Make some letter cards. So I'm going to take my what, and I'm going to make individual cards. I'm going to reach over here and grab them so that I'm ready to spell it out. And then I've kind of made a little video that's going to go through what's missing, switch the orders, we call that mix and fix, and have them put it back. Basically, all of these procedures are intended to really work on the visual memory, to see it over and over again and see each one of the little elements. So let's try this little video.
What's missing? T. What's missing? A. What's missing? WH. Let's mix and fix. That doesn't look right. I might even need a model to follow. You've got it. Can you try it without the model? That looks right. Check it. Good job.
So I'm hoping you kind of get this idea that you're going to have to look at the word multiple times. Researchers say some kids can learn a word and have it memorized in just a handful of scenes. But other students need to see that word like 40 times. So think of, how many times you're going to still keep going through the word what? How many times? The next step in the process is really making sure you're going to take some time to write the word. So we're going to copy it. That's when we kind of look at it and write it. W-H-A-T, and I'd have your child say those letters as they're writing it. Then it's that put the card down, write from memory. Can I do it individually? So hopefully you can do that with about 3 words. We want to keep it focused. We want to practice those words, review it, even by word 3. Hey, what was that first word we did? Wasn't it what? And then end your word study time by maybe writing a sentence with one of the more words. And you're going to write it together. What's my favorite food? Oh, I think you know how to write the first word. Why don't you write it? Do you remember from before? And have them start off. Maybe my was one of your other sight words that you learned. So take some time to do this process to really learn those high frequency words. Again, Memorizing these high frequency words is going to help your student be able to read more automatically, be able to write more automatically, and it's going to help really support them to be a leveled reader, a grade level reader. There's a ton of resources online for all of the word list. There are great websites with other videos, other activities that you can do to practice. As I said, Fry and Dolch are the major researchers, so you can always search for them online. And my Google site, I'll include several links, so you can just click on those. Happy studying!